Well, I've always been interested in making things ever since I was a kid, but I guess I never really made anything that I felt was successful. In the 60s and that, a lot of handcraft movements were happening. The hippie thing was on, so I made leather work. And I guess I got an idea then that I could actually construct something that was reasonably successful. I worked in construction work and earth moving. In the winter times, too wet for the machines to work, I'd try and kind of have something that I could fiddle around with and do, sitting around the sheds. Then I had some health problems, so and couldn't actually drive machines, and I decided that at that stage of my life it was an opportunity to study. So some friends of mine helped talk me into it, and I went and studied at Manukau School of Visual Arts, and I got drawn towards jewellery, something small. I mean, I drove bulldozers most of my life, so it's kind of completely the opposite. I enjoyed it very much. It kind of opened up a whole new world to me. The idea came from a plant that's called Dactylanthus. Its common name is wood flower, wood rose. I think another title for it is the flower of Hades, because it actually is under the ground, parasitical, and it hosts itself to certain trees in the bush. The flower above the ground is pollinated by the lesser short-tailed bat, which is also on the endangered species list. So I kind of like to think that when I'm working, I'm thinking about these things, about nature and about, about what's going on. And being on the endangered list, it kind of appealed to me that, yeah, maybe I could have a go at replicating it, which is what these are. These are just carved wood. And I've tried to replicate the fluting that happens in the actual existing root structure. Most of my work is connected with flora, not all of it, but then I'll pick anything up that's on the ground, through the bush, on a footpath, anywhere I see something that takes my eye, I'll pick it up. And there's remnants of that all over the place here. So the ideas often start from those walks, and then I think that what if I joined this to that? What if, how can I present this in a way that maybe eventually becomes something that someone may like? And the way I do that is with contemporary jewellery. The caravan is a necessity for me. It's an anchor. It's somewhere where I can go every day that's a little bit off the beaten track from these other little areas of confusion. And most of my construction happens here. I carve here as well. I don't do much carving now, but the feather that's in the show was an experiment in carving bone, using the curve of the bone as opposed to just using the length. So there's all different shapes and sizes of things that relate to feathers, which stems back to my childhood really, from my father racing pigeons down there in the backyard and having to clean out the loft and seeing the birds when they were liberated and the feathers falling, small feathers falling from the sky and that. So I guess this feather thing's been in me since I was a child. And of course I'm pretty interested in the huia, which is what some of these are representing. The ginkgo brooches and necklaces came from walking, from seeing the leaves at different stages of their decay, and the amazing colours that they produce. And also it was interesting to me that when I did a bit of research that the ginkgo was actually, there's been fossils found in New Zealand that are X million years old. They were actually growing here apparently before the land all broke up into what it has become now. So I found that very interesting as part of, it's almost like telling myself a story while I'm making. From found plastics, shampoo bottles in this one, into paper, actual photocopies of leaves, and just put through a process and strengthened up so that they become durable enough to wear, that they're not going to flop into a heap in the rain or something like that. So it's kind of like that what if again. It's about pushing those boundaries of what can be done with a certain material, as opposed to traditional, well, what's considered to be traditional jewellery materials. And I think that's a really important aspect of me and my making. What if I try this? What if I try that? Join this, join that. This piece goes with that piece, and that's how I work. How it suits the body is the last thing that I worry about. I want to make something, and if it suits the body, good. If it doesn't, it might just sit. It might become spare parts for something else. So it's all part of my process, really.